Awesome. How's everybody doing? Did everyone have a chance to play around with the voice AI prompts that we started on Monday? Anybody have any insights or things they wanted to share? So I put together the recording from Monday. If you missed it, and if you go to rdtai.com/community, you should be, again, this is the first time I've started a group or a community. So literally this morning I threw this together. Hopefully it will let you in and there will be a course. If not, we'll make sure that that gets straightened out after the call. We'll keep this focused because we want to keep building this agent that we started. And all the recordings and stuff will be up in here. I'll post the Fathom link almost immediately after we get off the meeting here. So you'll have all the recordings right in the community. Did anybody get a voice agent up? Did everybody get a, initial agent up and working within their account?
Yeah, we did.
Awesome, awesome. So, I don't know why this thing ended up down here. Right, so today, trying to delete things, but today let's work on refining this. I think the big, the next step with the prompting is adding the contact fields and actions. And so, and then also if somebody can hop into here and let me know that this link actually works. Again, I have never set up the community, but what that should do is bring you into this community here. And then if you click on the courses, not showing, did I not publish this? Is this the right? That's correct. 1 second, I'm going to make sure that we got this shared.
I'm in here now. I'm not seeing the courses.
Yeah, I think for some reason it didn't. I added it in here, but how do I publish this? Let's put this over in here. Link to course. I put it in here. I thought that's all we needed to do. Link. But I don't see. Okay, well, I don't want to spend a bunch of time on this because I want to keep rocking and rolling with what we were working on. But if not, I'm going to send everybody a direct link or just add them to. I've done membership, lots of stuff on memberships. I've never done the whole community thing, but I thought if I add a course in here, everybody should be able to click on it and access it. But it seems like that's not exactly the case. So, all right, let me recap. Let's go back to our Word document. Okay. I've also made some updates to the prompt, and I haven't actually tested this out, but up in the role, the initial prompt that we had last time was, I think just, it was a little bit confusing. And the role, really, I want this section of the prompt to be, what their role is and what they're doing. And so I've updated this. Again, this document's in the Google Drive and it will also be in the course, so everybody will have this. The offer, so in here, I really just started to, I took out what they had in here and it just put a solar offer in here. So that's what
We
this is.
don't see your page, Adam.
Oh, thank you very much. Let's get that shared. How about now? Can you see my screen now?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So anyways, I've made some updates to this prompt. I changed the role and the offer up at the top here. And then I added also I updated the rules for conversation. I took out some of this to simplify this a little bit. And so we ended up with like these rules for prioritizing. And again, I haven't actually tested this update yet, but based on other agents that I've built, I think this will work really well. So again, up at the top of any part of the prompt, you want to put the most important stuff, right? So the important thing, because this is meant to handle inbound calls for the whole business. And so up at the top, prioritize transition seamlessly between conversations, maintain warm. The next section, I also updated this, and I have, sorry, I'm just trying to let people into the Zoom as they come in. I added it all into one big section called conversation flow. We had this kind of separated into 3 steps, but I think this will work better. And so we have the like entire conversation flow, and then this top part is initial. So I started out with, find out the caller's name, learn why they're calling. If they're a new lead, then continue here on 3A. If they're a customer, continue here on 3B. And if they're a partner, click on 3C. And so then we still have these in here, but they don't have they're all within one big section called conversation flow, right? And so the lead qualification flow, this is where we spent a little bit of time, but we've got the 3A. And so these numbers I continued so that because again, they were starting at 1. So I cleaned this up. I think this will work a little bit better. So we have a 3A, 3B, or a 3C, and then some supplementary information. And so I've updated this. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this and we'll throw this back into the agent over here. I'll come back because I updated that opening line as well. Right.
So is that all on the Google Sheet that or doc that you shared yesterday, or is this?
It's all in the Google Sheet. And then also I threw together this membership site, which is going to have everything organized. So we got a little overview section. This is the day 1 replay. This is the recording from Monday. And some notes on here. This is some of the prompt guidelines. And again, I might be adding to this. This agent is updated all within here now. So you can click into here and then additional resources and links. I think these are really valuable. And so 5 days a week, Go High Levels running free training, or basically Go High Levels partners from HL Pro Tools to Go High Levels Essentials. And actually all of those replays are up on YouTube here. And so I hopped in on Monday and just asked a couple questions. And so I'll start putting some resources. If anybody else has other resources and stuff, just let's add them into here and see if we can get a good resource. So everything should be in here now, and then this will have it in the Google Drive. So let's go back to this guy. So we updated this. Let's go ahead and save this. And we're going to get into the actions here. But first, we're just going to update this to have our updated prompt and opening line from the prompt. Up at the top of the prompt here, I put the opening line. So our opening line, hey there. It's Ava from How Can I Help You with Your Solar Inquiry today? Let's go ahead and throw this into here. Okay. So again, we'll play around with doing some testing as we start testing the actions for this agent. This should be ABC Solar. And then anybody who's on here that's already an RDT member, there's going to be this and other agents that I'm going to push out for you guys. So on Monday, we really went through prompting in this. So the next section down here, you'll notice, and we're a little bit limited again on actions, but we can set up a call transfer, which we don't really have in this script. trigger a workflow, update contact field, and send SMS. Or we can do this at the end of the call. And then you can also customize the completions that are in here. So before we do this, because this is a brand new blank account, we need to actually go and create the fields that we need to update. And so we're going to go up to the contact fields.
Today's video is brought to you by the RDT AI community, your all-in-one launchpad for collaborating on GHL solar automation and more. Join the RDT AI community now to get full access to Day 3's exclusive training, the snapshot, and all of the agent scripts, plus bonuses. Collaborate and get insider strategies to scale your solar business faster than ever. Visit rdtai.com/community and step into the future of solar with an army of AI solar employees.
Custom fields. So again, if you're looking at this and you're like, what the heck is this? This is just RDT. So I already have all these standard contact fields. I like to organize things into folders. And so I'm going to create a new folder here. We're going to call this AI voice agent. And we'll call this a contact. Right. And now I'm going to reference back and forth with this document because I already put down, so name, email, address. We have these as standard fields. These are going to be all the fields that we have in our existing prompt. And so inquiry type, lead type, homeowner, do they have solar panels already? Utility bill amount, booking and next project action, and what they need help with. So what I kind of hinted on Monday is I really like to create individual fields for these. And so I'm going to get into the voice agent here, and we're going to create we're going to do all of these as single text fields. Although I did see that you can update monetary fields or numeric fields as well. So maybe we'll do the utility bill amount as a monetary field, right? So let's go back and I'm going to call this voice AI name, right? And so rather than me updating, I want to have a clear field that the voice AI can update. And so we're going to add in all of the fields, including the name and the address that we have standard fields for. And I'll show you why in a second. Right? So we've got name, single line, we've got address, got email, inquiry type. Right, so we're going to go single line, inquiry type. Lead type. These might be a little bit redundant, but it's okay. Let's get this copied. Probably go back and fix the spelling of this stuff later because I just like to keep this nice and organized, but we're going to say lead type. And then say homeowner, field, single line, homeowner. This fixed. Save. Then we've got we'll just miss exactly as it is. I like to keep these fields shorter. But do they have solar panels already? Let's just say solar panels already. I'll fix the spelling of this later as we push out the snapshot for this, but all right, so I'm literally putting all of these fields, and ideally we'd have an actual field for all of the different things that we're going to collect. So we're going to call this single line. Utility bill amount. Actually, let's make this one let's make this a monetary or a numeric field, because I did see that you can do numbers now. See if that will work. And what else? We got roof type. These are probably two different fields. Age. Project timeline. We didn't get a chance to do this before the meeting, but we'll get the idea here. Okay, and then let's call this time. What we're going to add this in anyways, although I think the preferred method is to probably trigger a text bot at this time. Fur has said that the calendar availability should be early Q1. And so, and what else we got? Next project action. All right, cool. So, all right, so now that we have all of our fields, now we can actually use these, and we can set actions within the agent to update these fields. We are also going to build workflows. So we're going to go back here to the workflows, and we're going to start adding our first workflow. We'll start from scratch. And so what we're going to set up in here is we're going to trigger on contacts changed, and then we're going to add the filter, and now we'll have all of our custom fields in here, right? And so this, we'll just keep this copied, right? And so we're going to start out with the name has changed, right? So anytime this field changed, this will trigger this workflow, right? And up here, we're going to call this voice AI custom field, and then we'll call this name. Okay. We're gonna end up with a bunch of these, right? And so why I like to do this separately is because the voice AI is going to update this field. I do not always want to replace the contact's name with the actual name that's over here. And so we're going to add an if statement over here. And we're going to say contact details, full name is empty, right? Name is empty. And this is going to only update the field if it's empty. If it's not, then I might add a note. Actually, there's already a note created on that being collected, and then it could be manually done. And so this means the AI is not going to override contact details that I already have that may be more accurate. And so the AI, sometimes it will be very good at updating these, but sometimes it won't, right? And then it's not done, then we're going to, we could have separated this first name and last name, but full name, right? And now we're going to update this with the voice AI field, right? So we're going to update this with the voice AI name, right? So if it's empty, we're going to update the field. And so this is how I recommend updating and collecting data from the voice. And even if you're using a different voice system, this way it's not overriding data that you already have, and you have this kind of streamline. You can decide, hey, the AI collected this, that could be sent over in different emails and stuff like this. And so, and then I always like to, whenever I'm building workflows, I want to be contact change, right? I want to be very diligent on what I put up here with the naming of everything, so I don't have to click on it. Name changed, right? I know this is a contact field just based on the icon. So voice AI name changed, the condition name is empty. And then again, over here, I want to put update contact field full name. We always want to put a description. This will just make it way easier for you to go through and troubleshoot things later. And so if we already have a name, nothing's going to happen. If not, then it's going to update this. Does that make sense? Right. And so now that I have this one, we're going to go ahead and duplicate this for the next field, which is email, right? And then we'll get into here. And a lot of this will be much faster now because now we can say email has changed. And up here we'll say email. This condition, we're going to do email is empty. Right. And then we're going to update this with the voice AI email if it's empty. And this one will be email. Okay, so we've got email and name. And so we're going to need to repeat this process. I'm going to probably will kick this off and just start testing the agent in a little bit, but let's go ahead and duplicate this again. And now we're going to do address. This one, we may go update this to be individual like name, street, and email, but let's just keep this up in here. Voice AI address has changed. Empty. Nobody would find it unless you put the prefix in here. And put this in here, we'll publish this. All right, so we got name, email, address. We got a bunch of these to do. So I might not do all of these right now on live, but we'll build out the rest of these custom name. So this one is, let's try the utility build now, just because this is a numeric one. And then we'll go start adding these in here, and then we can get to testing this. Okay. And then Same thing here. So actually, I didn't create a standard field for this. So we're going to just update we'll leave this in here. If you need to put like placeholders and stuff, I'll sometimes do something like this. First name is something like this, because it's never going to go down that path. And then later I can come up and actually update. So what I would have is I'd have a standard, I didn't create the standard field for utility bill. But we'll be able to see if we collect this. And then actually, why don't we just go create that? Let's go in here. So we'll just put this under additional fields. Oops, this one we want to do numeric. Finish this one out. Oh, interesting. Okay. We're gonna have to try this. I'm glad that we did this one. So they're not giving me the little like placeholders to throw in some fields. Let's go ahead and grab a text field just so that we can. Go. It doesn't matter which one, just so that we can grab the placeholder for this. And voice AI, where is it? Utility bill now. And let me type that in. Okay, so high level is not letting us use custom values in numeric fields is what I'm seeing here. And so we're just gonna leave this how it was. There's got to be a way to transfer a numeric field. We might have to use a math function. Fields. Let you use. Okay, so this is the workaround. You have to use a math function and add the utility bill amount to an empty, because right, we had an empty field here, and we're going to call this math operation. Whoops. Add to update to voice. And then so does this make sense how we do this workaround? Right, so we're selecting this field, we're adding this other custom field to it, and then we're updating the final field. And so this is for numeric fields, what you have to do with this. All right, so I think we got some good stuff to try out here. All right, I'm going to leave the workflows open. We're going to go into the agent. We'll do one more workflow, but we'll go ahead and test this first. So let's get into here. So these are our options right now. The thing that I was saying that we probably should do is to update when the call is completed, but we'll leave that blank for now. So we're going to go update custom fields, and you can add as many fields into here as you want. And so we're just going to call this name, right? And then this is the field to get updated. And okay, so I guess they don't let us update full name. We have to do first name and last name. That's probably change our strategy with this. We'll set this up for the other fields and we'll come back and do this one. Let's do address. Okay. This one's also separated out, so we really should build this separately. But that's okay. We'll just do the street address for now so we can test it out. What to update in the field? The address of the. So let's say when the address is collected, update only the address into this field. You also have to provide some examples, and so we'll go back and fix this. Because really we can only do street. We'll just leave this. Yay, 9455. Okay, so we're gonna have to change this and we'll collect these all separately, but let's go ahead and save this. We'll see what happens. And then we're gonna come back into here. We'll add a new field. Let's do that utility bill amount. So in here, and I think I made a mistake on that other one too, you always want to update the voice fields, right? The numeric value versus monthly utility bill amount. 249, 6. This one's pretty simple on those. So I'm keeping this extremely simple. We may have to come in and adjust this as we start testing this, but right. Oops. And then we'll add email. Another. So auto saves. Yeah. And then this one, I have to update this one anyways, but we'll. So voice AI, voice AI, voice AI. Well, save. I believe that's all that we really have at the moment. We're going to have to separate this out into street, city, state, and zip code, but let's go ahead and test this out. So, and then this would be triggering a workflow based on some action that happened during the call versus this is triggering a workflow whenever the call completes. And so we'll just keep those separate. And let's go ahead and give this agent a call. This.
DT call from.
Hello?
Hey there, it's Ava from ABC Solar. How can I help you with your solar inquiry today?
Yeah, do you guys have good deals going on right now?
Absolutely. We offer a world-class solar system with a 25-year comprehensive warranty and production guarantee. Plus, we have flexible financing options and industry-best pricing. Are you interested in learning more about upgrading to solar?
Yeah, I am.
Great. Are you a homeowner, and could you share your property address with me?
Yeah,
This will help us.
I'm the homeowner and the address is 34231 Mimosa Terrace, Fremont, California, 94555.
Thanks for that. Just to confirm, your address is 34231 Mimosa Terrace, Fremont, California, 94555. Do you currently have solar panels installed, or are you looking to get started with a new installation?
This would be a new installation.
Awesome. How soon are you looking to get started with the installation?
As soon as possible. I'm tired of paying PG&E.
I hear you. Let's get you set up with a solar expert to make that happen. What's your average monthly utility bill amount?
It's like $370.
Wow, that's quite a bit. Switching to solar could really help with that. What type of roof do you have, and how old is it?
The roof is in good shape. I think it's a tile roof.
Great, a tile roof is perfect for solar installation. Let's get you scheduled for a follow-up call with one of our solar pros. We have availability from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. starting tomorrow. What time works best for you?
Let's do 10 p.m.
Oops, we don't have slots that late. How about 10 a.m. instead?
3 p.m. in the afternoon works.
Perfect. I'll schedule your follow-up call for 3 p.m. tomorrow. Could you please spell out your email address so I can send a confirmation?
Yeah, it's adam@myrdt.com.
Got it. So your email is adam@myrdt.com. I'll send over the confirmation for your appointment at 3 p.m. tomorrow. If you have any other questions in the meantime, feel free to reach out. Looking forward to helping you go solar.
Thank you. All right, so that went pretty good. Let's see how we did on collecting some of the fields here. And so if we go ahead and refresh this, we should have collected address. All of these should have triggered. Dun, dun, dun. I think it still works in test calls. So if you come into the notes over here, I think that high level is just being slow because so we fetched the phone number. So we didn't do anything with the notes, but high level updates this. And so utility amount, I don't see address in here. And I think so we'll have to go back and adjust the address. We need to change that anyways. And so does anybody have questions on this? Because I'm going to build out all these custom fields for Friday just so that we have this and play around with this. But I really wanted to get this framework in place. And so let's just quickly, we'll see if we can get the address to trigger because it looks like it didn't. Those other we got a question. We share the updated workflows in the group. Yeah, the workflows and all of actually the whole entire snapshot that I build here is going to be thrown up into the membership course and so if you hopped on late, if you go to rdtai.com/community, just hop in there and I put all of this, including the replay of this will be up there as soon as we get off here. So we need to go back into here. The address was actually not something that we needed. So we're going to go ahead and delete this. We're going to add in the field, single line. Street. City. State. That call actually went pretty smooth though. We're gonna need to try out the other parts of the flow. Street and bigger. All right, so street, city, state, postal code. Those are all separated now. Inquiry type. So I think we're good on this. We just need to create some other standard fields. And so let's go back into here. This one triggered or updated, but it didn't. So that's okay. But so let's go ahead and edit this one. Boise High Street has changed. All right, and then this one we're going to do. I guess it's called address 1, I believe. Is empty. Is empty. Or is empty. Sorry. Again, we'll call this empty. Street address. I wonder if they've been here. Interesting. So they have the street address as a field, but then I believe they call it address 1. Because over here there's no address 1. It's just street address. Okay, so this is a little high level quirk that sometimes you have to deal with when you're building on high level, but I believe that should work. And this one's going to be street address.
Today's video is brought to you by the RDT AI community, your all-in-one launchpad for collaborating on GHL solar automation and more. Join the RDT AI community now to get full access to Day 3's exclusive training, the snapshot, and all of the agent scripts, plus bonuses. Collaborate and get insider strategies to scale your solar business faster than ever. Visit rdtai.com/community and step into the future of solar with an army of AI solar employees.
You'll know if this is actually collected. And so, I'm doing this in parallel of setting up the workflows at the same time as setting the prompt. But really, there's quite a bit of work for me to go into actually, we have the voice agent over here. So there's going to be, so the next stage of prompting is really testing out your different actions, right? So I have street address. This one should update the voice AI address. What to update? So maybe the street address of the caller. Let's try this, and this might have got confused because of this. Okay, and then let's go city. We'll have to do city later because I have to refresh this because I created this field. Email. Let's delete this one. Oh, it didn't update name because I didn't put in a name update field in here. So voice AI name of the caller. Let's say full name, because we'll let high level separate this out. And again, we could do this separately, but full name of the caller. John Smith, add another. Bill, add another. Susan. Or something. So I'm giving it a first name because if they only collect the first name, I'm just telling the AI, I'm giving it just a couple little examples that tell it how to do the email of the caller, the utility bill amount, and the street address. We'll go and look if they did the, let me just save this before we lose our work here. I guess we don't have to save that. We'll refresh this. Get back into here. Okay, we're going to go update and we're going to add in. Did want to collect first, last name. The AI would likely have to prompt for each of those separately. Possibly not, right? The AI is pretty smart. It's probably able to go through it's probably able to go ahead and, detect what are we doing? We're doing city. The city. What's the best way to word this? The city. Fremont. Okay, another one. State. State. Forward. Should know, right? I mean, you don't have to give it a lot. And again, we want to try to keep this as simple as possible and only make it more complex if we need to. And so then we've got postal code. let's go back in here. So we've got postal code. This one I did incorrect because it should be voice AI state. Voice AI name, email, utility bill, and street. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and test call this, but I'm gonna act like a customer. Which is, well, we didn't get the customer information, but actually we created the fields already. So let's just add those in just so that we can test out. Inquiry type. Question. Is install, add another. My solar system is not working. Okay, I skipped one that I like to put into here, and I know that high level puts the notes in there, but there's another field that I think will be super useful, which we didn't put in the agent yet. All right, so I'm gonna add one more. We're gonna call this voice AI summary. This will go into here. This input type. Add field. Call summary. Cheat a little bit. We'll go and grab that contact. So in the summary, you can really tell it exactly how you want the summary to go, but we'll just put this in here as the example. A detailed summary paragraph of the call. And again, this will trigger a workflow that will allow us to, and then let's add another because I want to see how this does with the partners, and we'll take a couple questions and get this rock in here. I'm going to build out the rest of all these fields, so I'll have them on Friday. But I think we're getting close here. Voice AI. Let's call this lead type. Type of contact to the caller, right? And so we're going to say, lead, customer, or partner. Lead, another one, customer, partner. Okay, and then let's look at our customer flow. Oh, that should give us enough to test this another time here. So let's see how Ava does. Where's my? I probably didn't save it. This one.
RDT call from.
Hello?
Hey there, it's Ava from ABC Solar. How can I help you with your solar inquiry today?
Yeah, I was just wondering when my installation is going to be.
Got it. You're checking on your installation schedule. Could you please share your name so I can look up the details for you?
Yeah, my name is Adam.
Thanks, Adam. What do you need help with regarding your installation?
Well, I thought my installation was supposed to happen already. Do you know when that's gonna be for?
I understand your concern, Adam. Let me check on that for you. Could you please provide your email address so I can pull up your details?
Yeah, my email is adam@myrdt.com.
Thanks, Adam. I'll pass this information to your solar expert to get an update on your installation schedule. Is there anything else I can assist you with?
When are they gonna get back to me?
I'll make sure they reach out to you as soon as possible, likely within the next business day. If there's anything else you need in the meantime, just let me know.
All right, great, thank you. All right, so it did a halfway decent. I would probably want to adjust this to say I'm not gonna look up your details, right? She's not able to look up any details, but that does get them to provide the information rather, so, but I thought that was halfway decent for a customer, right? And if I call back about potentially working with, well, let's go see what got updated here. So we really don't need to build the workflows because high level is going to summarize the call and update, the call summary and all of the fields that actually got updated. I just like to have more control in the workflows on whether that data is going to be overridden. Inquired about installation schedule. They've collected their email. So we collected phone number. The inquiry type was when is my install, and it got correctly that this was a customer, right? And so what I would do right now, and we didn't build this yet, but depending on if they're a customer or a partner, we would want to have another workflow in here. I'm just going to start this one anyway so that we have it. This one's not going to have any triggers because this is going to be our call finish. And usually I would add like a small wait. The reason I'm going to put a small wait in here, wait for 3 minutes, is I want to give the other workflows time to update contact fields. And based on them updating contact fields or not, then I can do different actions, right? And then this one, I may go if else, right? And we might set up, and again, we didn't have a contact field already set up for like voice, customer versus lead on this account, but let's just say type, what do we call it? Inquiry lead type. So if the lead type is, and I would do this a little bit, I would probably use contains, right? And then the most important one is if it's a customer for me. So I'm going to put this first because it'll always go down there first, right? And this is customer lead type, right? And we'll put this in the beginning over here. Customer lead type. Now we'll duplicate this and we could say, type partner. Lead type is lead. This one's probably more important than partners. I might move it up there, but it's going to be pretty. You know what? Let's save time. Copy this. Lead. Right. And so depending on, so this is our end, voice AI call completed. Right. So we're going to go ahead and say, whoops. We'll rename this workflow voice AI call completed. right? And we put this in here, we'll save this. Restart this computer in a couple minutes. And we need to go back into the agents. All right, and so on the agent goals, I'm going to always trigger that workflow whenever the call completes, because if you put it up here, it's going to require some action versus this call completed is going to fire every time a call is completed, right? Even if it's a super short call. And so the framework that we have is we're updating contact fields. We could add transfers into here. We could directly trigger workflows if we want, but I like to only trigger those workflows if I've updated the contact field. So does this framework make sense to everybody? Because I'll get this replay up and I'll also get the membership out, but I want everyone to kind of play around, and I'll try to build out the rest of this kind of general agent that we have so we can get to testing this and kind of refining it for on Friday. The link to the community. Thank you. So RDT.ai/community. And again, I'm not sure this is working. I've built lots of membership sites, but I've never used the community feature. But what should happen is you should end up in, anyways, I heard that the course link didn't work. So I got to figure out how this works, because you should be able to click learning and you should see this, but I don't think that happened. And also I don't see my post. Anyways, I'm gonna have to figure out I'll have to figure out the community part of this, but I'll send this link out to everybody just so it's easy to get in there, because this should have, and if not, we'll just skip the community idea and get directly into here. I'll put this replay up, within an hour, there'll be the day 2 replay. So you'll have all this in the notes. And then I've got some other stuff in here, including the entire agent that we built right here. So anybody that joined that group, if you could let me know, like if you go to the learning section, does this actually show up? Because someone said it didn't, and I'm not sure if it's it should show up, but again, this is new for me. Awesome. Does anybody have questions or things that they wanted to cover before we hop off here? I know we went a little bit over here, or 5 minutes over.
Adam, when I listened to the call the other day that you asked me to, this is a little off topic from what we're talking about now, but there seemed to be quite a bit of delay between the AI voice responding. There was a big gap of time between the natural response. Is that because you're still programming, or is there a setting on that to adjust that?
So I think it can have a lot to do with the prompt. If there's things in the prompt that confuse the AI, and I think you were talking is like an agent that I threw together at the last moment just because this had already kind of kicked off on the registration. And so did you try giving the solar agent a call? And actually, maybe I'll send this out if everybody wants to try calling this one, because the real you're going to have to listen to the first 100 calls probably and make adjustments and adjust things in the prompts and stuff. And
yeah,
that delay, I know specifically there's a delay that High Level's working on, which is that, the call picks up and she doesn't say the opening line right away. He or she, depending on which type of agent.
Right.
Maya, what type of other agent would you like to see built? So I think we're going to run out of time. We're going to kind of get this agent up, but the framework would be exactly the same. It would just be a different kind of conversation flow that they would go through. And maybe on Friday, we'll go through how
someone's wanting to sign up as a reseller or to work with you in some way. So that is pretty much similar to this. Grab the same information, have an agent call back. Is that what we would do?
Yeah, with resellers, you would just adjust, right? I would follow the same kind of, let me share my screen again. I would say I would follow the same kind of framework, right? If we get into here, and again, you can add additional, but
Yeah, I'm just wondering if it would even make sense to do things like talk about how much can you earn in this business, blah, blah, blah.
yeah, no, it would tremendously, right? And so you're going to need to adjust the role up here,
Okay.
right? I would always have these three sections first up at the top. So the role, the offer, and so this section you really want to get into what is the offer like that, like, right? And so this offer is going to be way different for a reseller or affiliate versus, right? And then the role is going to be different. And then the conversation flow, we actually built a pretty complicated conversation flow here because it can handle 3 different lead types coming in, right? And so if you keep this framework, and actually I learned this from, and I put the link over here, there's like a high level prompting thing. So this takes a little bit of extra time to be super organized and to like, so I would always have these 3 sections: role, offer, conversation, rules for conversation, and then the conversation flow itself. You can add additional things, additional supplementary, you can add other sections. They all have this framework of the entire section is within quotes, right? And then
Right.
almost like a programming thing where, again, we're being a bit redundant here, but
Yeah,
it makes it easy for the AI to go directly to the part of the prompt that it needs to,
that makes sense.
right? And then the conversation flow, I changed this from what we originally started because if you notice, the agent when I called her today was way more fluid than on Friday or on Monday when we tested this. It had lots of times when it had a long pause.
Mhm.
And anytime that the AI has to think, oh, where do I go for that next section? And so the change that I made here was I put all the conversation flow in one brackets here, right? It ends down here. And then the part of the flow that's the partner flow, and I could expand on this. I could have different, and then I made all the steps also follow in order. So they start out with like initial conversation flow, step 1, step 2. I could have additional steps here if I want. And then I ended this with like, if they're this, go to 3A. If they're this. And so I really clarified it, and this makes a big difference on the response time. Because if you have this kind of clean prompting, you'll get pretty good results off of, like that couple calls that we did today, I thought went pretty well.
Right. Okay, so basically be as clear as you can and cut it into smaller digestible steps.
Yep. And that's why also, if you come into here, I put, like, so me refining this further, I might, after I've got this tested out, I might use some of these and I might stick the entire prompt, just the following word prompt and make it more concise without losing meaning. You want to get the meaning and the context in the prompt, but you also want it as short as possible, right? If we go back to the agent here,
Because of that word limit.
not because of the word limit, just because I might think, oh, it's like if I'm trying to explain something to, one of my kids, I might like have a long sentence or explain it to them 3 or 4 different ways. Versus I'm telling the AI, find out the caller's name. That's it, right?
Got it.
And I'm leaving it open. And so you want it as short and concise as you can, rather than, so where
Okay,
it starts.
basically don't over prompt.
Yeah, exactly. Learn why are they calling, right? And so I'm very clear, learn why are they calling, inquiry type, lead, customer, partner, team member, right? And then
Got it.
again, repeating myself here, and then I've got all this like, almost like little programming language of telling it like, hey, if it's here, go here, right?
Yeah, it looks very much like markup language.
That markup
In the,
tremendously too, right? And so
Yeah.
this is this should, like, this agent's actually pretty complicated because they can handle 3 different lead types, and we could expand on this, right? I could have 10, whole bunch of different steps, but
in that conversational flow, Adam, I think it would be I think it would be improvement if we could concentrate a little on the ending of the sentence with some confirmation, like if you say, well, what's your address? And she says 12345 Main Street. And then it just goes to the next question. There should be some maybe confirmation. Is that correct? Is that right? So it sounds a little more fluid.
Yep.
And then another thing is when somebody responds, instead of just going to the next question, she would say or he would say, got it. So you could concentrate on ending the sentences and bridging the segues from one bot to another to make it sound more. It sounded a little computerized, like 123 Main Street. Great. What's the zip code?
Yeah,
it was a little robotic.
And so I might even put that in the rules near the top of like always confirm, or add in, right? And so you can add general rules up here. And then when we're collecting things like the address, I actually want, and I'll play around with, because I've played around with this quite a bit, of getting it to actually spell out, because with things like address, email address, I actually want the agent to spell it out letter for letter. So I'm sure that they got it correct.
Yeah, those phrases like good, great, got it, is that right, is that correct? Make it flow a little bit more.
Yeah.
You
also can force specific words in, like I could, rather than find out the caller's name, I could put in how I want it to ask for the caller's name. What can happen when you do that, though, is it sounds even more robotic.
Yeah. She asked me a couple questions, like I paused and she said, if you have any other questions, just reach out to me. So then I gave her a question, and then she paused again and she said, if you have any other questions, just reach out to me. So maybe we need a derivative there. Like the first time, if you ask if there's more questions, or do you have any other questions? Just let me know. Next time is anything else I can answer for you. So put some derivatives in there because she was repeating that 2 or 3 times and it was pretty mechanical.
Yeah, totally. And so that probably is a rule that needs to, never repeat the exact. You can put rules in here. You can also because the stuff that you put up at the top is probably going to be more important on the prompt.
Mm-hmm. So all very good work, though. I can see it going very, very good, and it's going to be a great development. What's your ETA on when you think you'll have this ready to go? And just some context for me, because I didn't get on the first call. Perhaps you already stated this. I'm surprised that High Level doesn't have some of this template work already done. It seems like you're doing this work that High Level should be doing.
They do. They have a ton of this done. And it's not all just like given to you, but if you hop into any of these calls, like they've got daily calls going on. And so like I encourage everybody to plug into all these calls or, watch through the replays. I'm not sure the one from Monday. I think it might have been this one 1 day ago. Yeah. Or maybe it was. Anyways, they're doing a bunch of this prompting, and I think everybody's kind of figuring this out, right? This is what I found out to work good for me. 2x speed, yeah, maybe 3x.
Can I just say something? I started building out a completely different bot. It's actually a Santa Claus bot. We're doing like a Santa Claus hotline, and
awesome.
so random. But what we did find from it is that you can add voice and tone. So you can talk about like his voice is warm, it's deep, it's grandfatherly, it's joyful. The tone was gentle, conversational, magical. Added some imagery like North Pole, talk about the elves, talk about reindeer, and then emotion. You can bring it uplifting. He's reassuring. He's caring. So you can add in your bot's voice and tone, and it made a big difference in the way he chuckled. He he was like, wow, like, oh, look who it is. Ho, and he, ho, ho, ho. And, so it was pretty cool to see that you could adjust their tonality and maybe make that feel a little bit more conversational.
That makes sense. Yeah, actually they I don't know, it's probably a different one, but they actually provided a Santa hotline prompt on Monday on the call.
Yeah, that's where we got that from. And so we wanted to do one for our little community. And the one when we called that one that was in the Go High Level school, it was still a little bit robotic, like at the beginning. Also, like it takes the words very phonetically, I guess that's the only way. So if we wanted him to say ho 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 instead of it sounding like ho ho ho, we had to actually like add zero like O's involved to get it to like ho ho, like so to get more fluid in the conversation.
Sometimes you have to spell things completely wrong just to get it to say it right.
Yeah, totally.
Awesome.
I just wanted to share that.
Awesome, Colleen. Yeah, if you want anybody, help, hopefully we can, jump into the community. High Level got a huge community. There's so much good stuff. So thanks everybody for hopping on, and have an awesome rest of your week. Hopefully I'll see everyone on Friday.
Yeah, thank you for this.
Cheers. Bye.
Today's video is brought to you by the RDT AI community, your all-in-one launchpad for collaborating on GHL solar automation and more. Join the RDT AI community now to get full access to Day 3's exclusive training, the snapshot, and all of the agent scripts, plus bonuses. Collaborate and get insider strategies to scale your solar business faster than ever. Visit rdtai.com/community and step into the future of solar with an army of AI solar employees.